Here's a number that should keep you up at night. $1 million. That's not what you need to retire. That's what the average American loses over their lifetime to completely avoidable financial mistakes. Quietly, slowly, one bad decision at a time. And the wild part? Most people doing the damage have no idea it's happening. They think they're fine. They're budgeting, maybe investing a little, drinking their coffee at home instead of Starbucks, and yet somehow, decade after decade, the wealth just doesn't show up. You've probably heard of the Money Guy show. Brian Preston and Bo Hansen have spent years, breaking down exactly where people's money disappears. And they've identified 5 specific wealth killers that show up in almost everyone's financial story. Not bad luck, not low income, behavioral mistakes, decisions, habits. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not just that these mistakes cost you money. It's how much they cost you when you actually run the numbers. The compounding effect of these 5 traps is genuinely shocking. So let's get into it. Imagine you're 28 years old, making $55,000 a year. You're not broke. You pay your bills, maybe have a little in savings. Life feels manageable, but you got a car payment, a credit card you carry a balance on, a lifestyle that's quietly inflated since your first raise, and a retirement account you're contributing just enough to not feel guilty about it. Sound familiar? According to a 2023 Federal Reserve report, nearly 37% of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing money or selling something. And a separate study by Northwestern Mutual found that the average American has just $89,300 saved for retirement. That gap between where people are and where they need to be? These 5 wealth killers are the reason. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about seeing the traps before you fall into them. Because once you see them, you can't unsee them. So let's break this down. First, let's talk about the one wealth killer that masquerades as just the way things are. High interest debt. We're talking credit cards, personal loans, buy now, pay later schemes, has become so normalized that people treat it like a fixed cost of life. It's not. It's a fire quietly burning through your future wealth every single month. Here's the real-world scenario. You've got $8,000 on a credit card at 22% APR. You're paying the minimum, around $160 a month. Feels manageable, right? But run the actual numbers. You'll spend over 5 years paying that off and hand the bank more than $4,600 in interest alone. That's not a payment plan. That's a penalty. Think of high-interest debt like a leak in a boat. You can keep rowing as hard as you want, but until you plug the leak, you're just staying afloat. The Money Guide team calls it the wealth destruction multiplier. Every dollar in high-interest debt isn't just a dollar gone. It's a dollar plus its future compounding potential gone. The average American household carries $6,501 in credit card debt. Multiply that by 22% annually, and you're looking at over $1,400 per year in interest, just for the privilege of spending money you didn't have. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The second wealth killer is one the Money Guy show hammers on constantly, and for good reason. Americans are obsessed with their vehicles, and it's costing them a fortune. Here's the cruel irony. A car is the one big purchase that starts losing value the moment you drive it off the lot. We're talking 20% depreciation in year 1 for most new vehicles. And yet, according to Experian, the average new car payment in America is now $735 per month. Let's make that real. You're 30 years old. You finance a $45,000 SUV with a $735 monthly payment for 72 months. Over 6 years, you pay roughly $53,000 total, more than the car's original price. Meanwhile, that same car is now worth maybe $18,000. You didn't buy transportation. You bought a $35,000 lesson. The Money Guy's rule of thumb? Your total vehicle value, all cars combined, shouldn't exceed half your annual income. If you make $60,000, your car situation should max out around $30,000. Total, period. Cars feel like status. But in the FOO, that's the financial order of operations, they're a liability, not an asset. Drive something that gets you there and keeps your wealth moving forward. But wait, there's more to this. The third wealth killer is sneaky, dangerous, and it's wearing a smile when it shows up. Lifestyle inflation is what happens when your income grows and your spending grows right along with it. You get a raise, so you upgrade your apartment. You land a promotion, so you trade in the Honda for the BMW. It feels like progress. It isn't. Picture this. You're 32, and over the last 4 years, your salary has gone from $55,000 to $75,000. That's a beautiful $20,000 raise. But somehow, you're saving the same dollar amount as before. Maybe less. Where did the extra $20,000 go? Subscriptions, a nicer neighborhood. More dining out, weekend trips that crept from twice a year to once a month. This is sometimes called the hedonic treadmill. You run faster, but you stay in the same place. The money guys call it one of the most invisible wealth destroyers because it never feels like a mistake. Every individual upgrade seems reasonable, but the aggregate effect is devastating. Studies show that for every $1 increase in income, Americans increase spending by roughly 80 cents. That leaves only 20 cents for actual wealth building, and that's before taxes. The fix? Every time you get a raise, automate a meaningful chunk of it before lifestyle has a chance to claim it. Don't give your future self a chance to spend it. This leads us to the next crucial point. This one is going to sting a little, but it needs to be said. Time is the most valuable financial asset you will ever have, and most people spend their 20s treating investing like something they'll get serious about later. Later is expensive, like shockingly expensive. Here's the brutal math. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 25 and earn a 10% average annual return, by 65 you'll have approximately $2,650,000. Now imagine you wait until 35 to start the exact same habit. Same $500, same return. By 65 you're looking at around $1,020,000. That 10-year delay costs you $1.6 million. 10 years, $1.6 million. Let that sit for a second. The Money Guy Show's FOO is built on this truth. Step 1, after handling the employer match, is getting money working as early as possible. The Roth IRA is their favorite vehicle for young investors. Tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals, and you can contribute up to $7,000 in 2024. If you haven't opened one, that's your homework tonight. You might be wondering, what if I don't have $500 a month? Start with $100. Start with $50. The habit is worth more than the amount right now. Get in the game. The fifth and final wealth killer might be the most counterintuitive one. It's not about what you spend. It's about what you don't do. Keeping money in a savings account, or worse, a checking account, feels safe. It feels responsible. And the Money Guy Show will tell you, there's a place for that. Emergency funds, absolutely. But beyond that buffer, parking money in cash is a guaranteed way to lose purchasing power over time. Here's why. Inflation has historically averaged around 3% per year. Your savings account? Maybe 0.5% at a traditional bank, though high-yield accounts now offer around 4 to 5%. But the stock market, tracked by the S&P 500, has averaged roughly 10% annually over the last century. Every year you keep long-term money in low-yield vehicles, you're paying an invisible tax called opportunity cost. Think of it like planting seeds. You've got great seeds, your dollars. You could leave them on the shelf where they slowly rot, or you could plant them somewhere they grow. Inaction isn't neutral in personal finance. It's regression. The average American has $65,100 in a savings account earning minimal interest. If that money were invested in a low-cost index fund instead, at 10% it could grow to over $437,000 in 20 years. That's not a hypothetical. That's math. So, what do you actually do with this information? Step 1, do this today. Go list every debt you have with its interest rate. Anything above 6 to 7% is a wealth killer actively working against you. Stack them highest rate first. This is called the avalanche method, and it's the fastest way to kill debt mathematically. Takes 20 minutes. Opens your eyes permanently. Step 2, do this week. Open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, all free to open. Set up an automatic contribution of any amount, even $25 a month. You're not optimizing right now. You're building the habit and starting the clock on compound interest. This takes about 15 minutes online. Step 3, do this month. Run the Money Guy's 20% savings rate check. Add up everything going toward your financial future: retirement contributions, extra debt payments, savings. If it's below 20% of your gross income, identify one upcoming expense you can redirect: a subscription, a meal budget trim, the next optional upgrade. Redirect it toward wealth building instead. Step 4, ongoing. Every raise, every bonus, apply the 50-50 rule. Half for lifestyle, half for wealth. This way, life gets better and your future self gets richer. You don't have to choose. Here's the bottom line. These 5 wealth killers: high interest debt, too much car, lifestyle inflation, investing too late, and financial inaction, aren't random bad luck. They're predictable. And because they're predictable, they're stoppable. The Money Guy Show built an entire philosophy around this idea. Being a wealth builder isn't about earning the most money. It's about making intentional decisions with the money you already have. Every day you choose differently is a day you're building the future version of yourself. You've got the information now. The question is what you do with it. If this video gave you even one aha moment, hit that subscribe button. We break down personal finance like this every single week. In plain English, no fluff. And next time, we're going deep on a financial order of operations, the exact step-by-step system the Money Guy Show built, so you always know what to do next with your money. You won't want to miss it. Your future self is counting on the choices you make today. Let's make them count.